Hello, everybody.
Welcome to Kirsty and Briony's Comfort Zone.
I'm Kirsty.
And I am Briony. And we are going to be listening to each other's dreams and trying to work out what's going on in each other's heads.
Yeah. It's
I said
pretty wild
in a very weird way then. I said I try to work out. I'm turning Canadian. I've been listening to a podcast with Chris Jericho on it.
Yeah.
And he says, a boot.
A boot.
So I think I'm picking it up. AEW is going to Canada this week as well, so they're going to be bringing out all the Canadians.
Fit right in.
Yeah.
I wanna watch some AEW. I haven't watched wrestling in ages.
I was doing my stream this morning, and for some reason, I was talking about Halloween costumes, and I was saying Alex and I are probably going to be wrestlers. Kim, I think, is going to be Danhausen. And a couple others are probably going to be wrestlers. And then I was like, but I know not everyone's into wrestling, so I won't go on about it too much. And then half an hour later, I was still just talking about wrestling. And I was like, I should stop now. I'm sorry.
I don't know what I want to be for Halloween. I kind of want to be sexy Gandalf.
I would love that. I keep looking at the sexy Gandalf costume. I think basically if you put on any costume and then have fishnet tights.
Just like whip your tits out.
It's a good Halloween costume.
Yeah, exactly. It's perfect.
I keep on being sent worm on a string costumes. So many people have tagged me in this one particular video, and every time someone does, I'm just like, the urge rises.
I would love to see you in a worm on a string costume. I would absolutely love it.
I'm not super like crafty. So I could try and bodge one together, but I just don't. I'm one of those people who I never look at patterns for things. I just start making them and then figure it out as I go along.
I do that.
And it's always a bodge job.
Honestly, I find that I enjoy like sewing more like that. Like stuff like knitting, I struggled to work with because you have to stare at a pattern and remember how much you've done. Whereas with sewing, I kind of just wing it. Like, I've made plushies and stuff before where I've just looked at it and gone, yep, I need something that's this shape. Sew it on. Bam. Done. And like just sort of winging sewing and stuff is just a bit easier, I think.
Maybe I'll give it a go.
Yeah, we need to get you some furry fabric and a big string.
What colour worm would I go for? I feel like pink is iconic.
I'm imagining you as a big pink one.
I did look at, I was trying to buy something on Amazon the other day, and I put my cursor in the search bar. And the first thing, like the last thing I'd searched for was oversized googly eyes. So I think I've been thinking about this for a while.
Yeah, you told me about this a long time ago. I remember you said you were going to try and make one.
Oh, I'm just gonna go for it. What's the worst that could happen?
Yeah, I'm going to try and get a sexy Gandalf going too. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. Halloween, baby.
And his worm.
Gandalf and his worm.
Wriggle, you fools.
Oh my goodness. Oh, well, we didn't do an episode last week because I was on the holiday.
You were?
Yes, I was on holiday. So as a result, we have just had so many dreams.
We have a proper backlog.
Yeah, we're full of dreams. And mine have been so vivid. Like, I had a few on holiday that were just really intense, and the recordings are all like 10 minutes long. What about you? How have your dreams been?
I am actually having dreams again.
Yay!
Which has been nice, and they have been slightly strange. The other thing about having a backlog is the dreams that we're going to listen to today, I have no memory of at all, because they were from... I mean, I tend to forget dreams pretty much as soon as I say them, whereas these are from like a couple weeks ago, I think, maybe. So yeah, it's going to be fun hearing what I have to say.
Yeah, my one is from the end of September, so I don't remember it at all. It's just, I listened to it just to check we hadn't done it before on the podcast, and I did not recognize it in the slightest. I'm like, okay, good.
I was planning on, because I bought a dictaphone.
Yeah.
And I was planning on trying to use it to try and record myself through the night to see if I talked. Because there was a night when Alex was away. So I was like, this is the perfect time to see. But I realized that because of how I sleep, I would have to sort of dangle it directly above myself. So I've not figured out a way to do that yet, because if I put it on the, like in the sheets, it's just going to pick up rustling. If I put it on my bedside table, I tend to like curl up with my back to it. So you probably wouldn't hear it then.
Right.
So I need to find a way to have something.
Could you put it on your pillow?
Maybe. I do have some like fairy lights that go above the bed. Or maybe I could just blue tack it to the wall.
Your phone? Oh no, the dictaphone, right. How big is it?
Yeah. It's tiny.
Oh,
it's like
okay.
super light and it is tiny. When Alex was away for that night, because our bed is like up against the wall, but so like 90 degrees from it. So like the wall is the top of a T and I should be the stick part. Somehow, because Alex wasn't there to like buffer me how I guess I naturally sleep, I woke up by headbutting the wall. I was like, how did I turn this far around and move the pillows out the way?
Oh my God. How the heck did you manage that?
I know. I must have just I think I'd wriggled between the pillows and then I just rolled over.
Wait, did you get that on the dictaphone? Just a thumb?
No, sadly.
Oh no.
Just me waking up like, huh? But one thing that has happened in that time is Alex bought himself a smartwatch. He's really naughty for this stuff. He'll always be like, I want this, but I'm not going to buy it because I shouldn't buy it. So I'm always like, my Christmas present is sorted. And then the next day it will arrive. And it turns out just after that, he was like, no, I will get it. But he just didn't tell me. But he has this smartwatch now that actually like you can put it on like a sleep setting, as in it will tell you how much sleep you got.
Right. Okay.
Like your resting heart rate in the night, how much deep sleep you got. And it will actually record any noises it hears. So that is sort of doing it because Alex tends to be like if he's Big Spoon, I guess his hand is actually right next to my face.
Wait, so is he wearing it in bed?
Yeah, to like test how
just to test the sleeping, right? Okay.
Yeah, so at the moment it's only picked up just little snores, just the occasional, just like no talking yet. But yeah, he just has a recording, like a folder on his phone that's just
snoring.
Sleep noises. Yeah, should use them as my Twitch alerts.
Yeah, you should. I think I'm going to look and see if I can find any apps on my phone that I can use to record sleep noises. It'll mainly probably be Tabs licking himself. It'll just be like... But I know that I talk in my sleep, but I don't know if I talk when I'm on my own. When I'm with other people, then I feel like I might talk more. So yeah, I'll get an app and I'll see. I will report back.
We had a funny time the other day because we went away to stay in a hotel it was a friend's wedding. And one of our friends was like the other side of the wall to our room. And at morning the next day, they said, were you snoring loads last night? Because we could just hear snoring, but we couldn't tell where it was coming from. And Alex was immediately like, well, I'll tell you. And he just looked at his watch. But it looked like he was just going to do one of those things where he was like, oh, let me check in my pocket, and then pulled out his middle finger or something. Because why would you think you're looking at your watch to tell you if you're snoring? And he checked and he was like, apparently there was 1 minute's worth of snoring all night. And that was it. So it wasn't us.
It's coming in handy.
Yeah.
Evidence.
As a defense, Your Honor.
That's amazing.
Because that's the thing, like, you don't know what you do in your sleep.
Yeah,
because you're always asleep. So if someone says, like, do you snore? You're like, well, I don't. I'm the last person who would know.
Yeah, literally. Man, I've been tempted by smartwatches for a while. I kind of want one. The thing is, I don't really go out a great deal, so it would kind of just be me wearing a smartwatch and then my phone next to me.
Alex says that it has stopped him sort of scrolling on his phone a bit more, because I guess there's that thing where you get a message and then you open your phone and then you see something else, and then before you know it, you've been on it for like an hour.
Yeah.
Whereas he will just get an alert, like he's limited the ones that come through on his watch. He'll see that and then be like, oh, okay, and won't have to like go near the phone.
Mm-hmm. That would definitely help me. I'm
good.
so bad for scrolling on my phone just constantly.
Yeah, it's so easily done. Like the other day, I was doing something on my computer, and then I was like, I was basically talking about printing methods on T-shirts. Oh. So I was like, I'll go and get a photo of what I mean. So I took my phone, took a photo, sent the photo on my phone, and then about 2 hours later, I walked back into the computer room and I was like, oh, my computer's on. Oh yeah, I'd just been so distracted by my phone. I'd then just walked downstairs and done something completely different and just sat there on my phone for that time. And I was like, oh yeah, I was doing stuff.
I was actually being productive. Oh no. Yeah, I'm
they are
awful
just little
for that.
Distraction devices.
Yeah. You use TikTok as well, don't you? And that's like the ultimate distraction.
I've managed to be quite good with it. Like I've turned off any sort of notification.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll only actually go on it for, I'd say like once a week, if that. And I'll literally watch about 4 dog TikToks and then I'm done.
Aww.
Because I really don't like the TikTok voice.
I don't like the TikTok voice either.
It's just so annoying. They're like, I showed my dog a mouse and saw what it did. And I'm just like,
I don't care.
So I'll watch a couple until that voice comes on and then I'm just like, nah, I'm done.
The voice is like a failsafe. It's there to stop you from scrolling constantly.
Yeah.
Perfect. Well,
so whose dream shall we start with?
Should we do your dream first?
Because if you've got, I guess, yeah, if I do, because I've got 2 today. Do you just have one large?
I have a large dream.
So if I do my little ones can be the bread and yours can be the big filling.
Okay.
None of this smorgastorta stuff.
No smorgastorta.
Fillings for the filling.
Just a sandwich of dreams.
Not covered in mayonnaise. Okay, so this is the only dream that I've recorded on the dictaphone so far.
Oh.
So this might sound different.
Okay.
To our usual dreams. I am ready. Right.
I'm ready.
3, 2, 1, go.
I had a dream that I was watching my sister. She was skydiving and she had like a little GoPro. I was just like chatting away to her, and occasionally she could like cut to the footage the GoPro was getting so I could watch. Like she could put it face down so I could see it falling and stuff. And she landed and she was fine. And then we were at this, it was like the energy companies were having big conferences, but they were making them into like events. And the British Gas one was all like super corporate. And I went to the Octopus one and it was basically like a big camp out where they'd, like, when nature is reclaiming buildings and stuff, everything was like, it used to be a building, but everything was covered in like plants and stuff. And then this woman was giving a speech, and there was this old like car, and there were all these like homeless people there that we were all looking after. And then the police turned up and they were going around the people that were attending, and they found one guy and they were like, oh, you're blah blah blah, and they know this information about him. And I was like, how do they know all this stuff? Do they have to memorize all of it? So anyway, they started like arresting people, but then I was like, oh my gosh, I've come to a new place that I should go to the gift shop and get a fridge magnet. So I've got a keepsake. So then Kirsty was there and we were looking through all the stuff in the shop. I think my sister was there too by that point. And I was looking through all the fridge magnets. But they're all for like the Brecon Beacons and places I hadn't been in Wales. So I was like, I can't really get any of these. And the ones that were for the place just weren't very like nice or interesting. At one point Kirsty found a tiny music box. It was like the size of like, it was only like an inch big sort of thing. It was tiny. And there were all other interesting things around the shop, but I don't remember what they were. But yeah, the end. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
You've brought gift shops into my dreams.
When you said gift shop, I was like, oh yeah, this is my kind of dream. And then you were like, Kirsty was there. Like, oh!
I visited one of your dream gift shops.
Yay! I love gift shops. Gift shops are the best part of any outing. Always visit the gift shop and look for a magnet.
That's the thing. I think that is why I had this dream, because basically we've never had fridge magnets, because when I grew up, my you know the fridges that just have like the fake cupboard doors
Yes.
in front of them? So you can't have fridge magnets. We had that in the house I grew up in. And then when Alex and I moved to Bristol, it was like that in our flat. So the fridge in the house we have now is the first fridge that it would actually work for.
Aww.
And so we just never thought, like, we didn't have any, and you don't normally just like go out and randomly get fridge magnets for the sake of it. So we have a naked fridge until you went to Amsterdam and you got us our first fridge magnet.
Yay!
And ever since we've put it on the fridge, we've just been like, we should get more. Like you've awoken something in us. And we've been talking like, why didn't we get fridge magnets every time we've been on holiday so far? So now we have this plan that we're going to find pictures of us together on holiday in different places and get them made into fridge magnets. So we can like go back and start the fridge magnet collection.
Cute.
And from now on, when we go out to, you know, a nice place, we'll get one. And I think it was around about that time that I was thinking about it, that I guess I just decided to dream about fridge magnets.
That's amazing. I love it. I also have a fridge right now that has the fake cupboard door on the front. But the extractor above the hob in my kitchen is metal, and I just fill that with magnets.
Aww.
Whenever I go on holiday, I buy one. Oh dear.
That's gonna be us now.
Yeah. Oh, I'm so glad. I love looking for magnets when I go on holiday. I try and find the best one. When I went to Spain last week, I found one of two cats on the beach wearing sunglasses and drinking cocktails.
Aww.
And I bought it for Kat because she looked after Mr. Tab Tabs, my cat. So my friend Cat Strike has now got a magnet of a cat for looking after my cat.
Aww. Yeah, we were saying, like, is it strange that the only fridge magnet we have is for somewhere that we've never been?
Yeah.
So that's why we need to get ones for the places. And it's not like, I guess I just never really looked at them because I couldn't get them. And then that just became a habit that I just never really looked at them as like a keepsake. Whereas now I'm attuned.
Yeah. Now you know. They're so fun.
You know what's interesting about this dream?
What?
No bodies of water.
I
know.
True.
I finally broken the streak.
Yay.
There was my sister skydiving, which is equally terrifying.
Yeah, it's just a body of air.
Yeah. But yeah, no bodies of water.
No water. Well, spoilers, I think my dream might have a body of water in it.
Oh my God. So we've just swapped dreams.
Yeah.
I'm having gift shops.
Oh, wait. I think I've just remembered what the dream is.
Oh.
Okay, we might be okay. There is water, but there's not a body of water. Anyway, back to your dream.
I can't think why my sister would have been skydiving. I'm trying to think of the timeline. Because I remember, do you know, maybe I should look up skydiving and what it represents.
Yeah.
Maybe that will.
I like that she was just casually chatting to you while skydiving.
I mean, my sister is pretty badass. Like, I could see her doing that stuff. Like, she's a lot more active than I am, which isn't very difficult. It's like saying the common muskrat is more active than the sloth. But I can't see sky. Oh wait, sky? Would it be under sports? Maybe. I found the sky itself.
I don't know. Maybe sports.
It says sky says floating or flying, but it's falling. Maybe I should look up falling.
Let me have I'll Google it while you look in your book.
Not that I'm comparing my sister to a muskrat. She's very lovely. Oh, muskrats are very lovely, to be honest.
Muskrats are very lovely.
But she'd be more of a... What would she be? Like a cheetah, maybe. She runs marathons.
Oh, damn.
Are cheetahs burst animals or are they endurance animals?
I feel like they might be
animals.
both.
Yeah. But she ran the London Marathon, I want to say 6 months after giving birth to her first child.
Oh my God.
I know. And I'm just there
hell.
I have no excuses.
Nope. I have none. My excuse is that I'm busy playing video games. Dreaming of someone doing skydiving. When you see someone jumping with a parachute, it shows the jealousy you have.
Oh.
The dream also signifies that you will take action to protect what you have.
That's interesting. Because I have been thinking recently, I guess because you get to an age where, or maybe it's not even a particular age thing, but one of the things that's crossed my mind a lot recently is about children and do I want to have children? Or, because I guess there's always that thing of are you gonna not have them? And then what if you turn around one day and you're like, oh, I wish I had of, and you just get to that point where you're like, I guess it just crosses your mind a bit more.
Yeah.
And my sister has 2 children, my niece and my nephew. And I wonder if it was that then. I wonder if it was me seeing, she went out there and she did it. She's done the skydive. Should I just watch through the GoPro or should I get out there and skydive myself?
Aww.
I wonder.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if it feels I don't feel particularly oh, I want what she has. I'm super jealous or anything. But I wonder if that was my brain's way of
maybe
saying, either get out and jump or don't.
That's a really good way of looking at it.
Having children is like jumping out of plane.
Yeah, kind of. I think jumping out of a plane might be easier, honestly.
But it is a difficult one because I've never been particularly... I mean, if I'm being 100% honest, the thought of carrying a child is horrific.
Yeah, no, I agree.
There's just so much that you just obviously, the fact that the human race has got to this point shows that it does work a lot of the time.
It tends to work generally.
But I just think I don't know, for something that is the most natural thing in the world, it seems so alien.
It does seem incredibly alien. I completely agree. It's just a very weird thing. And the more that I hear about it, I'm just like, ugh.
Yeah. There was a comic. He wrote the series of comics called American Splendor. I can't think what his name was. But him and his partner basically just sort of this child of a friend of theirs started just hanging out with them a bit more.
Yeah.
And then basically living at their house because he was a single parent and he was really busy. And eventually they just basically sort of adopted her and made this like mishmash family
Oh.
of these three sort of quite misfit people, but they fit
Aw.
together. And ever since watching that film, because it is based on a true story, like he is a real guy, but ever since watching the film about him, I've always just thought that's sort of how I'd want it to happen. That you just, family is sort of the people that you fit with. Like,
yeah.
it doesn't have to be this very...
You
Is it
can
called a
adopt me.
nuclear family when they have like the mom and the dad and the two kids? I've never understood what that
I
word
think
means.
so,
but,
yeah. Something like that.
But yeah, I think maybe I adopted bunnies. I could adopt a child. It's fine.
Hey, I'm here. I'll live with
Yeah.
you. You can be my mum.
Yay! Go to your room.
I'll let my mum know.
Mom, it's online. I can't pause it. Are you rating again?
Yes! I can't pause it! We've nearly killed it, Mom!
But yeah. And I think the part of the dream that was just about energy companies is probably just because no one knows what's going on with the energy company.
Yep. That one's pretty self-explanatory. They're just, energy prices be going up.
Yeah. And I think because we had to go through the thing of like, they said that you should fix, and then they were like, no, don't fix, and then they were like, maybe fix. And I think, it was probably just that I was like, that must have just been on my mind.
Yeah. So basically, it was a big dream about being an adult.
Yeah.
And also buying magnets.
Yeah. True adults know to buy fridge magnets.
Disposable
That's
income
what I
to
aspire
buy
to.
fridge magnets.
Yeah. But at least there wasn't a body of water. So maybe the anxiety is finally leveling out a bit.
That's kind of nice. Like, it sounds like the dream has sort of been thinking about current things and like with like kids and stuff, like looking to the future, which is nice, rather than being stuck in a body of water and panicking about everything. So that's some character development for Briony.
Woohoo! If anyone's been following this for my character arc, I hope you're pleased.
Yep. Next up is Briony's heel arc.
Just imagine if the next dream that I play after yours is just, so I was drowning in a swimming pool and we're like, oh no.
Oh, not again.
It was nice while it lasted. I feel like we've done a good job of that one.
I think we did too. That was quite a good, nice, rounded interpretation, I think.
Yeah.
Should we have a listen to
I have been like thinking about that stuff because I joined, I did sign up for therapy through the NHS, but obviously there's quite a wait list. So I thought in the meantime, I got quite a discounted BetterHelp. If anyone's thinking of signing up for BetterHelp, sign up to it, but then at the last moment, get distracted by something, and then the next day they send you an email being like, we noticed you didn't complete it. Do you want a further discount?
Oh.
Because that's what happened to me, and I was just like, oh, I was going to. I just got distracted by something else.
Thank you. A tip that I've heard about a lot of things. Like when you're buying stuff online, add it to your cart and then just leave it, and they will email you with discounts. Always.
I found out that the merch store that I use now does that. It doesn't offer out a discount, but it emails and signs off as me. So you get this email that's just like, hey, I saw you wanted to buy a bunny t-shirt, but didn't quite do it. Go ahead. Love, Briony. And I'm just like, I did not send that email.
I didn't send that.
Okay, let's give yours a listen.
All right. So mine's pretty long. So we could do like half and half. If you like.
Oh.
3, 2, 1, go.
So I had a very weird dream. So it kind of started out at sea, and I was on a big boulder type thing, with a few people, but I don't know who they were. and the boulder was like almost floating in the sea, and we were trying to just sort of stay on it, like holding on as best we could while it got flung around in the sea. And then eventually we realized that there were, are they jet skis? Yeah, jet skis, like water motorbikes. They were riding along the boulder, and there were people that were supposed to be watching us, but they were just empty. They were just riding around on their own. So we jumped on them because this boulder was dangerous, and we started like riding around on those. And eventually we got to what I think was like a sewer. And we went down this sewer pipe on the jet skis, and suddenly one of the people I was with was Aragorn, and he was like, "Are we supposed to go down here?" And I was like, "Oh, I've got friends that have been down here before, and the jet ski is fine." And we came to a big clearing in the sewer, and Aragorn didn't know where to go, but I knew for some reason. I'd been there before, so I was like, "We need to go up here. We need to go this way. You need to follow me." And all this time he's sort of panicking. He's like, "Oh God, I don't know where to go. Oh, it's scary." So we sort of managed to navigate our way through this sewer. We go up like a couple of waterfalls, and eventually we get like attacked by a lady with a saucepan who's trying to stop us from getting through like the last doorway. But I kick her off, and me and Aragorn get through. And then when we get through this doorway, we're in a classroom. Aragorn's not there anymore, but I'm in a classroom. But it's not a classroom at first. At first it's like a museum. So we go in, and my old art teacher, Miss Leonard, she like makes sure that we're all able to go in, and all of us filter in, and we start queuing up next to the first like exhibit. And it's just like an exhibit full of animals and stuff, so it's sort of like a petting zoo museum. But then we move on, and then it's a classroom, and we've got like tests and stuff to do. There's loads of paperwork in front of me, and this part of the dream lasted quite a long time. Like, I just remember sitting around this table, talking to my old school friends, looking through all of this paperwork, and at one point I had to write a draft for an essay. I was like, "Oh God, it's due really soon. I need to write it as quick as I can." And I gave it to one of the teachers, and she was just going to mark it so I could make changes to it. And I also had like tests in front of me. There was a pop quiz, and I was doing all of this stuff. And I found an old test that I think I might have done in a different dream, that was marked with a D, and I was like, "Oh well, I didn't do very well there." I think I had Kat next to me, and I was talking to her, and then the teacher came over and gave me the one that I handed her, and it was marked with a D, and she had all these improvements to make, and I was like, "Oh well." And so my friends around the table were like commenting on how I'd been missing a lot of art.
Maybe we'll stop there. Right.
Oh my gosh, you've gone on a big adventure already.
Oh,
in this
there's
dream.
even more to come. There's even more.
Blimey.
Yeah. So yeah, it started on the body of water.
Yeah, straight away.
Straight away.
In the sea.
It was kind of like Rings of Power-esque, you know, that part of Rings of Power where like it's at sea.
Wondering.
Yeah. But we were on a boulder, and it was being like sloshed around.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then
And
these
you got to meet
jet skis.
Aragorn.
I did get to meet Aragorn, but he wasn't very brave.
Oh.
He wasn't very brave. It was so the sewers that we were in, it was kind of like being in a dungeon in a video game. Like it was laid out in a way that like, oh, we need to get the key to go into this room and there's an NPC in there, blah, blah, blah. But I knew the way through. So I was just like, nope, we don't need to go that way. We just go straight this way. Bam. Here's the lady with the frying pan. She's the boss. Easy. So
You're
I
like the
just...
little the worm in Labyrinth that's like, if you had gone that way, you would have gone straight to the castle.
That's it. Exactly. So then I ended up in this classroom. It wasn't like any classroom that I ever was in at school. It was just a room. Like it was just a long room. The desk was on the left-hand side. There was a door on the far end. And then there were tables just laid out. And yeah, we just was just doing tests and stuff. It was very odd.
Was it the same teacher that you had previously drawn the burger for in your dream?
She was probably in that dream, but no, I had two art teachers. I had Miss Leonard, who was in this dream, and she was like a small goth lady. And I had Mr. Evans, who was the one I drew the burger for. And he was very like stern, like manly man. And he was very annoyed that I drew the burger for him. And I think Miss Leonard might have been next to him in that dream. But she didn't say anything. But yeah, she was one of my art teachers, and as was he. But this time we weren't really doing any art things. But yeah, so apparently the people at the table, like my old school friends, were saying how I'd been missing art lessons. And I have a recurring dream where I have an art project due in, which I've talked about before. It's always an art project, like one of those ones that they set at the start of the year and they're like, you need to work on this all year long and it will be due at the end of the year. And it's always like, oh, that's due in a week and I've not done any of it. So in my dreams, it's like, oh, I have art. I have this project due. I'm just not going to go to school. Which I never did when I was at school. But I always dream about missing lessons for that and for PE. Because I'm like, I don't want to do PE. I'm not going to go to school. I don't want to go to art because my project is due and I haven't done anything. So I'm not going to go. And I've been having so many of those dreams lately and I really don't know why.
Well, I have been looking up exams in the dream book, and it says dreaming of examinations, particularly educational ones, is usually connected with self-criticism and the need for high achievement.
Ooh.
We may be allowing others to set our standards of morality and success for us. So, not just for you, but I think dreamers in general, it's very difficult not to compare yourself to others when you think like, you know, oh, like they've suddenly had a big burst in viewers or something like that. Or you raid into someone and then you're just, they've got like their sub count on the screen and you're like, oh, they've got X many more than me. Like it's just, even if you're not the sort of person who cares about it, it's still
you still
present.
Notice. Yeah.
So I wonder if like, I don't know, maybe would this have been before the holiday?
So I think this was on the 30th of September. So this was just before the holiday.
So I wonder if maybe, because there's also the thing of like, I'm going to take this many days off.
Yes,
and there's the
that's
worry
what I was
when
gonna
it's,
say.
Yeah, it's like day to day, you don't know, like a lot of streaming comes down to like regularity and consistency and stuff. So I wonder if that was just on your mind. You were thinking like, oh, am I going to take a hit for this holiday? Which you won't. People love you. People are going to come back and say, I'll be there every day anyway. Just like, woo!
Woo! Yeah, whenever you take an extended amount of time off, there is always that worry that people will drop off or go elsewhere. So yeah, potentially that could have been on my mind.
Yeah. Especially as it was like a creative subject rather than it just being like, you know, testing maths or something.
Yeah.
I'm
trying to think what the actual tests we were doing on the table were. I remember there being like photographs in like plastic sleeves. Like we had all of our paperwork in these plastic sleeves.
Yeah.
And there were some photos, and I think there probably were some like other subjects. Like there might have been like maths questions and stuff in there.
Okay.
Because I have had another dream in the past where I went for a maths exam and I didn't know any of it because I hadn't revised, so I just didn't answer any of the questions. It's really crazy how much exams and school is in my brain when I dream.
Well,
it's
it's
insane.
such a big thing when it's going on. Like the way our educational system is set up is like, if you don't like do well in this exam, you'll be like, I remember one of my teachers literally told me a story. She used to come up with these stories, and one of them was the tale of the boy who didn't do his homework. And she was like, I had this boy and he never did his homework, and I saw him the other week and he was sweeping the streets and it was snowing and he looked so sad, and I thought, if you had have done your homework, you know, it was just stuff like that. And you are told, you know, from it's like they expect you to be able to know what you want to do when you're 16, and you don't know who you are at 16.
There's so much like pressure put on you, like all the way through. It's mad.
Yeah.
So,
and there's still like people, like, I mean, I have changed careers already like 3 times.
Yeah, me
and
too.
I don't see it as like a bad thing. It's just you do different things, you learn different skills from those things, and then you apply it to something else and you find out what you like doing. It's just growing. It's not everyone is going to know like, I want to do this and I'm going to do it forever. Exactly. So yeah, I guess probably just that hammering in.
Yeah, probably. I think just like in times of stress, like going back to stress dreams, like we always do. Like maybe the brain just likes to jump back to a time of great stress, which is exam season. So it's like, oh, you're stressing? You remember when you stressed about this too? I'm like, oh, thanks, brain. Very cool.
Well, I wonder if it's playing devil's advocate for the brain here. I wonder if it's to do with, you know, when they say like, oh, my life flashed before my eyes, and it's because that is your brain hurriedly flicking through the filing cabinet of your mind and saying, have I encountered any knowledge that will get me out of this danger right now?
Yeah.
And I wonder if it's your brain being like, you had stress at this moment, but you got through it. How did you get through that?
True.
Maybe our brains are nicer to us than we think.
That's very true. I'm sorry, brain.
That's okay.
I remember when I was doing my GCSEs or my A-levels, one of the two, and I was really stressed. And my dad came at me with the best advice, but also when I've repeated it to other people, they're like, oh, that's a bit depressing. But at the time, I thought, wow, this is really good advice. He basically just said to me, you know, you're worrying about this now. You're what, 17 years old? You will be worrying about it, but before you know it, it will be 10 years in the future and you will not give a shit.
Yeah.
And honestly, I was like, yeah. And then now it's 10 years in the future plus, and I'm like, yeah.
I guess that's the thing, is like,
it was good advice.
It's like when like babies cry because of some tiny thing, but to a baby, that's literally the worst thing that's ever happened to them. Yeah. So it's in perspective of like, and then maybe the next time it happens, they'll be like, oh, actually, it's not so bad. I'm a talking baby. I'm fine. Don't worry about me. But and I guess that is it's like, from my perspective now, I'll look at things like, because there's like a few like younger people in our communities, and you'll see things that they say and they're worried about, and you're like, yeah, it does get better. Just so you know, don't worry about it.
It does.
And then there's things I stress about that my parents are like, I'll be fine. Because to them, I'm still like a baby.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, whenever I've tried to like help other people by sort of relaying my dad's good advice, they've always been like, oh, that's depressing. So you're basically saying that time will just go by really fast. And I'm like, yeah.
Speaking of your dad, it turns out You know he stole a Blue Peter badge for you.
Yeah.
Apparently that gets you free entry onto the SS Great Britain. So next time you're in
Ooh.
Bristol, bring that puppy along.
Oh, yeah. Thanks, Dad.
See, that was your dad saying, this is no use to me now, but in 10 years' time, my daughter might go to Bristol.
That's it. Perfect. Wait, is the SS Great Britain the one on the badge? Surely not. It's just a Blue Peter's the name of the ship, right?
Yeah.
What is the ship on? It's Blue Peter, right? It's got to be. Blue Peter. Oh, it's the Mary Rose.
Oh.
Blue Peter is used as a maritime signal, indicating that the vessel flying it is about to leave. So it's a flag.
See ya.
See ya. See ya.
Don't really know anything about the Mary Rose other than...
No, I don't.
It's my auntie's name.
Ah. The flagship of Henry VIII.
Ooh.
Very cool. Henry VIII, the founder of the show Blue Peter.
Did he have a tortoise as well?
Yeah. He had a tortoise. He liked crafting. He would, here's one I made earlier.
Save
and he'd whip
all
it
his
out.
fairy liquid bottles.
Oh yeah, should we listen to the rest of my dream?
Oh yeah. Before I get into my tales of the Thunderbirds base that I never got to make, I watched with such covetous eyes. Like, one day I'm gonna make a thunder. Should we do a stream where we finally build the Thunderbirds base?
We should definitely do a Blue Peter stream. Anyway, let's listen. Okay,
here we go.
3, 2, 1, go.
So I was looking through all of these tests and stuff that we did, and they were saying how I missed a lot of art lessons, and that was because in other dreams I often have these dreams where I miss school and I just stay home. And, I don't want to go today. I'm near the end of the year, I don't care about school anymore, I'm just done. And in this particular dream, I had a final project that was due in that I was supposed to have been doing. And it was due in 4 days. And I hadn't done anything, literally nothing. So I was like, well, I'm just going to keep skipping art lessons. And then at one point, they managed to get some wine on the table, and my friend Scott had a big bottle of wine, and he was well happy. And when the lesson finally ended, the first table was dismissed first. The teacher did that thing where they nod at a table and they're allowed to go. So the first table went first, then our table was allowed to go. And on my way out, I found a phone on the floor, and I took it to the table where the teacher was, and I was like, I think so-and-so dropped their phone. And then I left, and my friend Scott was waiting outside for me, and we were walking around the back of the building. We came in through the front, but we were at the back now because the front was closed, so we had to walk all the way around to get back to Scott's car. And it was almost like walking behind dunes at the beach, these little roads that might have been made. So we walked past a bunch of houses, and Scott was seeing cats and going, cat, and then he saw a dog and he's like, oh, dog. And then eventually we got to a house that had fake snow in the garden. And we were like, what is this? They're getting into Christmas already. And Scott was like, oh no. And we had to walk through their garden to get to the front. So we were walking along through this fake snow. And then suddenly these people come out and they're like, Merry Christmas, we've been setting up our trees. Um, would you guys like a cup of tea? Come and sit down. And we were like, no, 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 no. And and Scott's like, I work for the NHS. I hate Christmas. And eventually they encourage us to just stay for a cup of tea. We're kind of dragged in, and it's like, oh dear. And we go in and we sit on this rickety old sofa that's like moving back and forth while we wait for our tea, and it's really awkward. And there's like a big family of people who live at this house, and they're all just sitting around us waiting. And it was just like, well, we could have just said no and kept going, but now we're here. And I think that was kind of it. That's the end of the dream.
What was that ending? That was very, very definite.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace. Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh. So yeah, the whole dream was wild. First we're on the sea, then we're in the sewers, then we're in the classroom, and then we're in a house that's surrounded by fake snow celebrating Christmas.
I mean, I do feel like Christmas sneaks up on you.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Like all of the Christmas stuff has been in shops for like a month now already.
Yeah.
At least.
I keep getting emails that are like, advent calendars are selling out. Buy yours now. And I'm just like, my dude, it's October. Like, why are they selling out? Tell me they're like coming on sale. Don't tell me they're already leaving.
They're leaving. You gotta be quick. I missed out on an advent calendar last year because I was too slow.
I've noticed there's been a lot more bunny advent calendars because before I got one from a company called the London Bunny Bakery. And that's the one that I did videos of the bunnies opening because they go crazy for them. But this year, there's been like, I've had at least 2 other companies, maybe 3, that I've had emails from being like, we're doing an advent calendar this year too. So I guess it is becoming more of a thing.
Yeah, it must be.
I have been trying to decide whether to get there's an escape room advent calendar where you solve a little puzzle every day. And I'm tempted to get that one, but then I don't get chocolate.
No. Just buy that
both?
And a big box of chocolates.
And then I get a chocolate whilst I solve the puzzle.
Exactly.
Or as a reward for having solved it.
Oh, true. Yeah, I've seen those escape room calendars. They sound really fun. I want one.
There was one I really wanted last year, but it was a Ravensburger one, and it hadn't been translated from German. And I was really tempted to ask Han-san if I could send it to her. She opens it, translates it, wraps it back up, and then sends it to me. But I was like, that's probably not fair to ask someone to do that. But this one, I think it's Exit is the company. And I've done they do the little box escape room card game sort of things.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the one that I'd heard about. Apparently it's like £50 or something for the calendar.
I think it was only, I saw it for about 24.
Oh, really? Ooh.
Yeah, because I saw it from one place. It was like, it's on sale now for £28. And then I Googled it and it was just like somewhere else was selling it for 24. So I was like, well, that's better.
Oh, that's a lot more affordable. I am very tempted.
And as it's half the price you thought it was, you can buy twice as many.
I can escape twice. Perfect.
Yeah, I am tempted to get one because I tend not to get one for myself. I'll remember to get one for the bunnies. I make one for Alex every year.
Aww.
And then by the time it's like December, I'm like, oh, me. And then all the vegan ones have sold out. So I'm just like, meh.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll treat myself this year.
Do it. Treat yourself. Yeah, I don't really know what the rest of the dream really meant, to be honest. I was with my pal Scott. I dream about my school friends quite a lot. And Scott was there this time. And we went to this weird Christmas house.
I'm just looking up tea.
Looking up what, sorry?
Tea.
Pea?
Because they offered you tea.
Oh,
No,
tea.
not pee.
Okay.
Tea.
Sorry? Pea?
I just stopped listening to you and started looking up piss in the book. What were you saying?
Piss means.
There's so many different sections. There's like, if you're trading tea as a commodity, if it's a social occasion, if it's a Japanese tea ceremony,
Oh.
or dreaming about teacups in particular, a tea break in the work environment.
Oh my
None
God,
of these are really
there's so many
true.
tea-related things.
So many possibilities. There's this one that says tea as a symbol suggests spiritual refreshment and making an offering. But I don't know if that applies.
Oh. I don't really know. I don't think so. We were just in a room surrounded by these strange people that were making like a weird Christmas grotto that just gave us some tea. And I don't even know if we ended up getting our tea in the end. They just said, come in for tea, and we just kind of sat there awkwardly.
There's a section for Christmas tree. See if this is more relevant. Because for most people, the Christmas tree is associated with a time of celebration, to have one appear in a dream signifies the marking of a particular period of time, perhaps a new beginning. It may also indicate a time of giving and by association the ability to enjoy the present. So, you're happy?
Happy?
You're happy?
Very happy? Oh, that's good.
There you go.
Good to know. Good to know for sure.
So once you accepted you weren't going to go to school,
I was happy. Yay! Get out of school and then good times ahead.
You know, I
That's
had
the
a
moral.
school dream recently.
Yeah?
Recently. I don't think I recorded it, but I basically had the same dream that I normally have when it's school stuff. And that is the same as you. I've like not turned up to lessons in ages. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't know what's going on. And I suddenly have this burden of like, oh, I need to be doing this, but I've not done it for ages. How could I have let it slip this far? But I think I just panic about it. And then eventually I realize, actually, I don't have school and I'm fine. And then I'll move on with the dream. In this one, though, I was like, do you know what? If I'm entitled to lessons, I'm going to have them, even if I don't know what's going on. And I literally just went and sat in the classroom and had the lessons. And I didn't know what was happening, but I would just sit there and I'd be like, I'm here and I'm learning and that's my right.
That's my right.
Yep. If this is where I'm supposed to be, I'll be here.
Amazing. Oh, dear. Do you think we have time to listen to your dream?
Oh, should we save it for next time?
We could.
Should we end on a cliffhanger?
Yeah. Tune in next week for Briony's next dream.
Whatever it was about, I don't remember.
Who knows? We don't.
It will probably come back to me at some point. But I have a feeling it might be a sad one.
Oh, okay. Maybe
but
it's
please
a good
still
thing.
tune in next week.
We'll start with a sad one next week and then lighten the mood.
Yeah, we'll build up. It'll be fine. But I feel like we've done a good job. I feel like having had a few weeks where we didn't really have dreams, and we've clawed it back, everyone.
We have.
Still in the
We
game.
have. It's nice to have a little pool of dreams that we can pull from to do the podcast, because we've had a bit of a dream drought lately and we've not been able to dream as effectively. So it's nice to be back on track.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. But yeah, tune in next week for more dreamies. We have so many to work through.
And then the week after that might be a special Halloween edition.
Oh, spooky.
Nightmares.
Oh.
You'd start eating cheese and apple juice before bed
Yes.
to get them spoopy dreams.
Wait, you don't do that anyway?
I soak cheese in apple juice to get the potent dream effect.
Yes.
I wonder what is it in cheese that's meant to make you have strange dreams. I wonder if that's still present in vegan cheese or if
I don't know.
not unlocking
It's
that.
supposed to be wrapping up, but I'm going to Google it. Why does cheese give you nightmares?
Why does cheese?
Why does
Apparently
cheese?
in apple juice. Apple juice is meant to like trigger the same part of the brain as LSD or something. So that's why
Oh.
it gives you crazy dreams.
Nice. Apparently, it's a chemical in cheese called tyramine, which comes from the amino acid tyrosine.
Oh.
It triggers the release of noradrenaline in the brain when you go to sleep.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
Bam. Cheese. I don't know if it's in vegan cheese, but cheese. Nice.
Well,
Okay. Well,
thank you for listening, everyone, and thank you, Kirsty.
Thank you, Briony.
Until next time,
Yes.
bye-bye.
Bye-bye.